Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're looking past, the usual crowded subways. We're digging into something different. Public transportation in Putnam County, Florida. It's a really fascinating case study in, rural efficiency.
It really is, and I think it's absolutely crucial to understand right up front this system. It doesn't even try to be conventional mass transit.
Right.
Its whole structure is built as critical social service infrastructure. It's specifically tailored for a population that's mostly rural, low density, and really relies on it.
And you see that reflected in how it's set up administratively, don't you? It's this public-private partnership.
Exactly.
You've got the County Public Works Department doing the oversight, but then the day-to-day stuff, that's run by a nonprofit, the Ride Solution, Inc. And they have that specific state role, the Community Transportation Coordinator, the CTC. They're the designated manager.
That's right. So they're not just, a bus company. They're coordinating mobility as a service.
Yeah. Okay, so let's unpack that core strategy. Because the source material, it shows they made a pretty big decision, basically walking away from one whole type of service. What defines the system today?
They made a really pragmatic, I'd even say radical choice. They deliberately scaled back, really contracted their traditional local fixed route bus services.
The ones that just drive around neighborhoods.
Exactly. And the key thing for any place like this, low density areas, is that those fixed routes, they're often just, financially unsustainable. A failure of design for that context. Putnam County saw that, so they shifted the whole focus away from trying to cover everywhere towards surgical efficiency, getting people specific places.
So they stopped trying to run buses down every street just to focus on the absolutely essential trips, which, that pivot leads straight to the two main things they do now, right?
Right. The first part is the Intercounty Connector service. Think of this as the regional lifeline. It runs 7 days a week.
7 days?
Yeah. And it connects Palaca, specifically that historic Palaca Union Depot hub, which, also serves Amtrak and Greyhound.
Right. Yeah.
Connects that out to the regional transit centers, Jacksonville, Gainesville, St. Augustine.
That's the link, connecting rural folks to the wider region. And here's a really interesting detail we found. Normally, it's a $2 one-way fare, right?
Yes.
But the schedule from January 2024 said that fee was waived at the time.
Yeah.
So basically, this vital regional connection was free when this report was done.
Which is huge. I mean, talk about an equity play. These connector routes are absolutely essential for people trying to get to jobs or medical appointments, education.
Things outside the county.
Exactly. And it makes you wonder, if they couldn't make paid local routes work, how is offering this for free sustainable? It really underlines that this is less about transit fares and more like a subsidized tool for healthcare and workforce access.
So, if the connector is the regional lifeline, then the second arm is more focused, more localized. That's managed by the Ride Solution, targeted mobility.
This is where that core social service mission really comes in. The Ride Solution manages the state's Transportation Disadvantage Program, the TD program.
TD, okay.
It's basically the paratransit system for residents who qualify because of, age or low income or a disability.
And that involves some checks, right?
So there's a formal eligibility screening process. And then typically there's just a very small co-payment involved, maybe $1, maybe $2 per trip.
Very low cost. Now that's for the TD eligible population, but the general public can technically use a similar service too, right? The door-to-door?
They can, yes. The door-to-door service is available, but but it's not like hailing a cab or hopping on a bus.
No spontaneity here.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Because the whole system is built around coordinating these very specific paratransit trips. Even the general public service, which costs a bit more, like $2 to $6 based on distance, you have to book it in advance.
How far in advance?
By 12 p.m. noon, the day before you want to travel.
Wow. Lunchtime the day before.
Yeah. It really highlights how coordinated and reservation-based the whole thing is. It's pretty much the opposite of just walking up to a bus stop.
Okay, so summing this up, the system is clearly very adaptive, very tailored, but even clever systems have problems. What are the big challenges that came up in this deep dive?
Well, we flagged 3 major issues based on the sources. First, just getting information out to the public. It seems fragmented, difficult to find, lots of static PDFs, maybe outdated.
Not very user-friendly.
Not really. Second, that strategic choice they made. Cutting back local fixed routes means local mobility for the general public is now extremely limited. It created a gap.
Makes sense.
And third, the technology they're using for operations seems, dated. Reservations are apparently only done by phone call.
No app, No website booking.
Nope, no app, no online booking, certainly no real-time tracking for users, just phone calls.
Huh. Okay, so that tech gap combined with the local mobility issue, that leads us right to our final sort of provocative thought for you, the listener. One key recommendation that came out of the analysis is piloting a microtransit zone.
Right, specifically in the greater Palatka area.
Using modern tech, smaller vehicles, on-demand booking, could that kind of flexible approach actually fill the local mobility gap that the old fixed route buses couldn't? It's a really interesting question. Can technology finally crack the code for viable local transit in a rural setting like this?